Shalom Israel. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rakakudash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone, and Shalom to like up there doing this work of faith and labor of love and true sincerity. Right, I want to get into a title. I want to get into a lesson pretty much entitled, Our Enemies Have Always Prayed for Our Downfall. And, when you really think about it, it's pretty much self-explanatory why, and the answer why is right here within the scripture. All right. Deuteronomy 7:6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy power. The Lord thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all the people that are upon the face of the earth. Okay. And I read verse 7. The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor chose you because you were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all the people. Now, so when you think about it, if a father, right, because we know in the kingdom, altogether everybody is the Lord's creation. So, however you want to technically put it, we all belong unto the Lord, but we just happen to be, the special nation whom the Lord dedicated himself to, his chosen. Salakia. So you got to think about it. If you got all these different creations, but yet the one who created you chose just this one creation and they left all these other ones out, how would you typically feel, man? When you look at it on that aspect, you can truly understand why they've always prayed for our downfall, because what? Everybody wants that number one spot, and in case in point, give another example, right? In the book of Genesis, Genesis 37, and I'll just start at verse 1. And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren, and the lad was with his sons of Bilhah, with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives, and Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. Right? So you got 11 other brothers, but yet the father chose you, as the youngest. And what Israel is one of the youngest nations that the Lord have created. So when I think of the relationship, that our forefather Jacob had of Joseph being his favorite, I liken that relationship unto, the Most High and us, as we are one of the youngest nations upon the face of the earth, well, to be formed as Israel, so I liken those two relationships one into another. So obviously you would have some envy there, just as Joseph's brothers sold him off. I believe it was unto the Midianites, and then from there, Joseph went to Egypt, So jealousy is always an issue, man, and when we look at everything of today's society, today's world, what the Most High said, what ye have not because ye ask not, and ye ask amiss, what to consume it upon your lust. And that's the way this whole world works. This whole world works off of consuming things off of the flesh, consuming things based off of their own individual lust, whether it's a righteous lust or a wicked lust. They don't matter. They just want to consume things upon their own lust, man. And to take this even further, being that the Lord set, his favor, his love, his mercy upon us, the other nations, they always got the brunt of the stick, so to speak, man. And that's where, we come towards the point of the book of Psalms 83. And I'll just read that briefly. All right. Psalms 83 and 1, a song of Psalm of Asaph. Keep not thou silent, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against our people, and consulted against our hidden ones. They have said, Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and of Ishmaelites, and of Moab, and of the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, the Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot Salah. All right. They mentioned the Midianites, so on and so forth. Now, coming to this point here, within, these present times, since Edom coming out the caves, them practicing the triangular slave trade, the Arabs creating the boats and stuff like that, the Hamites grabbing us up, bringing us over, into the boats, and with the Edomites and all of that. All of these different nations, have it ingrained within their spirit to know who we are, and to know who that shining star is out of the whole bunch, so to speak, man. Because people recognize greatness, and where they lack and they see greatness in somebody else, they always choose to try to dim that other person's light to make themselves shine, so to speak, which is the common saying of Jake in today's time. They say, why you don't have to dim somebody else's light for your light to shine. Well, that's how these other nations operate, man. And they've been taught of this for generation upon generation upon generation. Look at when you go back to our forefather David. The Lord had David, to kick everything off, man. You know what I'm saying? In a major way. Even before David, man. Let me go before David. David was the ultimate, but before David, right? Give an example of that. The book of Joshua. Joshua 2:9, and it said, this Rahab the harlot speaking, and she said unto the men, I know that the Lord have given you the land, and that your terror is fallen upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land faint because of you. So this is what she knew, right? For we have heard how the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea for you when ye came out of Egypt, and what ye did unto the two kings of the Amorites that were on the other side of Jordan, Sihon and Og, whom ye utterly destroyed. As soon as we had heard these things, our hearts did melt. Neither did there remain any more courage in any man because of you. For the Lord your power, he is power in heaven above, and in earth, and in earth beneath. So, and this is from one Hamite nation, what I'm saying, hearing, this about how the Lord performed, the great miracle for us in the time of Egypt. So don't you think until these days, it's ingrained within these other nations' spirit to hate us? Just like how these Hamites today, they call us lazy, they call us akata, they got their own nicknames and bywords and stuff like that for us, because it's ingrained within their spirit, man, to constantly prey on our downfall, to have that enmity there, just as we have, with Esau, man. Not quite as, because the enmity between, Jacob and Esau, that's like no other, but the other nations, they share a common like with Esau against us, man. And this is with all the different nations, and I can give another example. All right, with in the book of Numbers, this is Numbers 22. Yeah, Numbers 22. Slocky. Yeah, Numbers 22. I'll start at verse 1. Numbers 22 and 1. And the children of Israel set forward and pitched in the plains of Moab on this side Jordan by Jericho. And Balak the son of Zippor saw all that Israel had done to the Amorites. See, so what? You recognize there's always one thing. There's always one nation recognizing, what happened to this other nation by the Israelites. So this is all more of a reason why Psalms 83 makes sense of why they're all confederate against us, at whatever time back then and at the present time now to keep us down, man, so that we won't rise back up into power. It all makes perfect sense, And Moab was so afraid of the people because there were many, and Moab was distressed because of the children of Israel. And Moab said unto the elders of Midian, now shall this company lick up all that are round about us, as the ox licketh up the grass of the field. So it's saying like, yo, this company that's that's coming towards us, man, they about to take up everything, man, And Balak, the son of Zippor, was king of the Moabites at that time. So now what? We dealing with the, a Moab, man, He sent messengers, therefore, unto Balaam, the son of Beor, to Pethor, which is by the river of the land of the children of his people, to call him, saying, Behold, there is a people come out from Egypt. Behold, they cover the face of the earth, and they abide over against me. Come now, therefore, I pray thee, curse me these people, for they are too mighty for me. Peradventure I should prevail, that we may smite them, and that I may drive them out of the land. For I wot that he whom thou bless is blessed, and he whom thou curse is cursed. So, hey, you got these nations jumbling up together within those times, only to come up short. And then the Lord utterly destroyed both of them, man. So we see these different examples all throughout the scriptures of these nations trying to do things up against us, but they always falling short because why? The Most High was with us. The Most High showed us favor. So, in their mind, it's like, damn, where's my favor? Hey, well, you had your 15 minutes of fame. At whatever point you had us under your captivity, you had your little 15 minutes of fame, and that's all the Lord gave you. But Esau, Edom, they take the most advantage of it, and especially within these present times, But just to show, like, real quick with King David, because everything with him really set the whole tone for everything. Because underneath him, he subdued all of the nations and set forth the proper rule, of King Solomon, And I'll just get straight to the point. First Chronicles 18 and 11. Them also King David dedicated unto the Lord with the silver and the gold that he brought from all these nations, from Edom and from Moab and from the children of Ammon and from the Philistines and from Amalek. Moreover, Abishai the son of Zeruiah slew of the Edomites in the valley of Salt 18,000. And he put garrisons in Edom, and all the Edomites became David's servants. Thus the Lord preserved David whithersoever he went. So you see how David went through slaughtering off these nations, from Edom, the Moab, the Ammon, the Amalek, all of these different nations, man. So it, like I said, it only makes perfect sense of why they're all confederate against us and they do these things in which they're currently doing, and and then using, the left side of the spectrum, or the Most High spectrum, to combat us. With prayers of with curses, and hoping that we continue to stay in this place.